Let's bring in Radio Joe Zanzola, who, of this whole career in radio, has nothing to show for it except the Radio Joe name. Hey, Joe.
Hi, Bart.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm flattered that you thought of me to invite me on your show. This is the first time I've ever been on here. Hopefully it's not the last, but it'll probably be the last. But I'm good. How are you?
No, anybody that I know on a personal level that doesn't mind giving their time away for free is welcome to come on at any time.
Dude, it is so true though. Like, and this is why I will never launch my own podcast, because I'm not doing it for free. There's just no way. I've done enough freebies in my radio career. There's just no way that really, it's like the amount of time, and like with what you do right now, the amount of time you put into podcasts, you got to get something for it. So that's why I'm not doing a podcast. And I would be lucky if I had 5 listeners. Seriously. Like, it's just the truth.
Well, I would be one of them.
I know you would. Maybe Sparky, maybe Tim. I don't know.
Well, if you ever need advice, do a golf pod. You like golf?
No, because I use my Twitter account at Radio Joe Sports. I use my Twitter account to just tweet out things that come to my mind, and sometimes I don't tweet for days, but I like to tweet about golf because I love golf. And nobody cares. Nobody cares. Get 1 like, 2 likes. Like, no one comes to Twitter for golf takes. And if they do come for golf takes, they're going to go to, Jason Sobel or Gary D'Amato. They're going to go to someone who is just so locked into golf. No one really cares what I have to say about golf, even though I could give you some really strong, hot takes on golf. Bart, no one cares, man. No one cares. And believe me, I would love to tweet more about golf, but it just sucks when you put a tweet out there and you get no reaction for it.
You know what you need to do? The key in life to making a business is it's finding the niche that's not being served.
Correct.
Right. So why this podcast is working is because I'm talking about Wisconsin sports on a daily basis, which is not necessarily being served.
Correct.
Elsewhere. You, with your golf knowledge and love of, you need to be the guy that's pro live golf tour, like really sink into live golf, because there's nobody doing that. That would be a good niche for you.
Well, I mean, it's pretty embarrassing how much live is so unorganized right now. Like, they can't get a golf course ready for a tournament. They can't broadcast it correctly. I mean, they have it on the damn CW. Like, who cares? Like, no one's watching that. And then I think they like cut their last broadcast short. Like, they were like in the middle of a playoff, and then they just pulled the plug on it. Like, what are you doing?
Well, CW had programming to get to.
Screw the CW. Who's watching the CW?
Well, CW is actually in the news just as something separate, but they've been a big channel for like Arrow and Flash and Smallville and these teen superhero dramas.
Yeah, whatever.
But because of the writer's strike, they've essentially canceled all those. And next year's fall lineup on the CW, I'm big into this kind of stuff, is going to be all shows licensed that have already been broadcast in Canada. So it's really even worse than, like, it was a joke before, but now it's a joke that's not funny.
Well, the only thing I ever came to the CW for was the Maury Show. Watch paternity test results, some lie detector tests. That was my entertainment when I was like 18 in the summer, and that was the only time I put on the CW. Oh, Maury's on. Let's see who's the father today.
The Live Golf Tour is coming to Chicago the weekend of September 22nd. If you and I want to go down there, if you get your podcast started, we could both get credentialed, I'm sure.
I doubt it. Yeah, whatever.
What do you think about this Michael Block character? We're talking on Sunday morning, and so I don't know who won the PGA yet, but this guy, the tour pro that's like playing with Rory on a Sunday of a major.
Yeah, and his reaction is just like, get the hell out of here, really. Yeah, Michael Block is just your typical dude that you're probably going to play with at some point on a golf course this season. You're going to have a few beers with him. You're going to, talk a lot of crap. He's going to talk a lot of crap. It's just, he is the most relatable golf figure you can find out there right now. It's pretty cool what he's doing. And, I don't expect the guy to win. But if that guy were to finish, if he finishes like top 4, top 5, he picks up some serious exemptions. Like he gets I think he gets temporary PGA Tour status, which is cool. So yeah, I mean, he's definitely the people's champ. I mean, everyone's gonna be rooting for him today.
Well, I hope he doesn't get milkshake ducked. If you're not familiar with the term, it's when somebody is on social media and like becomes a big star, and then you realize like there's a bunch of awful shit in their history. So I'm not trying to fall too in love with this guy. I like him so far.
How can you not?
Just make sure that, I mean, it's inspiration to golfers everywhere. And speaking of golfers everywhere, one of the reasons I wanted to talk to Joe was Lucas Ursig. That's coming up. Joe hit a hole-in-one this week, ladies and gentlemen. His first ever.
How about it? It's crazy. I'm not a good golfer. For me, a good score is 81, 82. Like that is.
I would cut off my penis for that score.
That's for me. That's a great round. Otherwise, on average, 90, 91, 92. A really bad day for me is triple digits, shooting over 100. So I've been close to a hole-in-one a couple of times. In the last couple of years, I have been very close. And, I'll post pictures of it. I'll put that on Facebook or Instagram at Radio Joe Sports as well for Instagram. And, everyone makes the same joke when you make that post where you're like, oh, I was a foot away from a hole-in-one today. They'll go, well, did you make the putt? And it's just, shut up. Okay, yeah, I did make the putt. I did get my birdie. But yeah, I was in Florida and I was playing with a guy that I met last year on one of the courses down there, and we kept in touch. And so he's a member at TPC Treviso Bay. So he has access to play all these different country clubs.
Wait, so you met a guy just randomly golfing and then became his friend?
Yeah. In fact, I do that with quite a few people. It's fun. Oh. Golf is it really is
one part of me that I that is not in my DNA. So kudos to you.
You seem like the kind of guy that can make friends on the golf course.
Not on the golf. I want to be alone. Joe, I book the tee time after I book my tee time so that nobody's behind me.
Well, I book early. Like all of my rounds, Bart, I will play the earliest tee time possible. So if it's 6 a.m., if it's 5:30, I don't care. I try to be the first one out there when I go out and play every morning. So I like to have no one in front of me. But if I get paired with someone, I don't have a problem with that at all because 99% of the people I've been paired up with, I've enjoyed playing with. And I feel like I know them, because we all have the same stuff in common. We have the same interests in common. So I have, like last year alone, I made a lot of friends on the golf course and I've kept in touch with them.
Well, congratulations on that.
Yeah.
So you play one of these TPC courses. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no. So anyway, long story short. So my buddy Pat, who I met, he has access to all these other country clubs. And so I was down in Naples and like 90% of the golf courses down there are private. So the fact that now I've got a friend who has a connection, he can get on these country clubs. So I played 2 different country clubs with him down in Florida. And on the second one I played, we were at the 3rd hole. It was a par 3, 165 yards. And throughout my little golfing adventure in Florida, I've been leaving a lot of my shots short. I'm not that long of a hitter. So I was thinking, well, pins in the front. Let's try a 6-iron. If I hit it too far, at least I know I'm going to be in the center of the green or in the back of the green. So I get up there. I hit this 6, and when I actually hit it good, Bart, it's like this natural fade. So it starts left and then it works right. And as I saw it fade back into the green, the ball landed probably about 6-7 feet from the cup. And then what happened was, because of the spin, it kicked right towards the cup. It landed once, bounced again, and then just dropped in the cup. It disappeared. And wow, for that split second, you're like, what? Really? It went in? And, that was my reaction. I'm like, it went in. And my buddy Pat and his friends who were playing, they all saw it. So right away, they get out of their carts. I'm hugging, fist bumping, doing all of that. They started, taking my picture and stuff. And I kept thinking, I'm like, it did drop. I know I saw it disappear. So sure enough, I walked all the way up to the green. They got it on video. So if anyone thinks I'm a liar, it's all there.
Well,
so
I watched it all. It was captivating.
Yeah. So the walk up there was really cool. And then I got up there, and sure enough, there it is waiting for me in the cup. So I took a few more pictures, and it's a really surreal feeling, because hole-in-ones are they're not a common thing. No matter how much you play the game of golf, there's a lot of people that golf their entire lifetimes and they never get a hole-in-one. So for some people, they may have 5 hole-in-ones in their lifetime, and they're not even like great golfers. I
had a hole-in-one once. I faked it, but I had one.
Well, of course you did. Of course you did. But yeah, I mean, it was like, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the only one I get in my entire lifetime, but it's one that I will remember forever. I mean, it was just the most surreal feeling, other than like, having kids. It's just a really cool thing. And I'm glad I was able to experience it with other people. I'm glad there were witnesses, because that would be my luck. I get a hole-in-one and no one sees it. And then no one
would ever believe me if I had a real one.
Hell no. No one would believe you. No one would believe me. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
So how does that, like, that's got to be, how do you golf the rest of your round without thinking, I hit a hole-in-one?
Well, the one thought I kept thinking was, on the trip, I had yet to break 90. And I was hoping at least once or twice I would be able to break 90. So I thought, okay, I just had a hole-in-one on the 3rd hole. There's no excuses today. I will break 90. I have to, just by default. So I start playing, and I made a par 2 holes later. So I'm like, okay, moving along, good. I'm hitting good shots. I'm hitting it well off the tee. I get to the 7th hole, and I make an 8. The 8th hole, I make a 6. The 9th hole, I make a 6. I make a turn, I make another 6. Then on holes 12 and 13, I get 7s. So now I'll be lucky if I shoot 95, because I started missing fairways, started hitting really stupid shots. Half the holes I was playing into were in the wind, so it was knocking everything down. So then I finished on a good note. The last 4 holes, I parred 3 of the last 4, and I had 3 straight greens in regulation to finish. So I shot 92, but I was just really disappointed that I couldn't break 90 after having a hole-in-one. And really the mindset, like, at times it was hitting you like, yeah, dude, you just had a hole-in-one. Like, relax. Who really cares how you shoot? But I was also trying to stay focused that, no, I want to break 90. I have a handicap to keep. So I want to make sure that this one's going to be, valuable, that will keep my handicap where it needs to be.
See, I would argue that while you hit a shot off the tee that then went into the hole, I would argue that's actually not a pure hole-in-one. A hole-in-one has to be like, you have to nothing but net it.
Oh, come on. No.
It's gotta be a shot that you drop right into the cup.
And I wouldn't be surprised if that happened and it actually bounced out of the cup, because it came in that hot. That is probably the coolest way to have a hole-in-one, though. I guess another cool way of having the hole-in-one is like, the way, wasn't it Jordan Spieth the other day at the PGA? He was putting, and then the ball was right on the edge, and then it was just slowly turning, and then it finally dropped. That would be a really cool way to get a hole in one too.
I got a piece of audio here that I played the other day, and I'm going to play it for you.
Okay.
You know what it is.
Oh, no.
This was, what year was this? The rebuild audio. There you are.
Oh, God.
Was it like 16, 17?
The fact that you have the audio is really scary.
Oh, I saved it right away. I played it on Friday's show.
Oh, man, dude, I don't want to listen to this.
Why?
Because I don't.
And
Can I just tell you something?
I want to defend you.
Okay, why do you want to defend me? I was wrong.
Let me just play 20 seconds.
All right, let's get this over with.
Brewers fans to get their hopes up to think that this Brewers team we should be talking World Series, or we should at least be talking postseason come 2020. I think this rebuild that David Stearns is putting together right now is going to take, at the minimum, 5 years. It's going to take a while. This could take 5, 6, 7, 8 years, because what I believe is the true talent of this organization is sitting in your farm system right now. And once they come up to the big leagues, it's going to take a couple of years before you really know what they are in addition. So again, let's take a prospect like Lucas Erceg, who I'm really high.
Let's take a guy like Lucas Erceg. Lucas Erceg, 8 years after you gave that monologue on the Thrill Michaels show, did make his major league debut as a pitcher, gave up 2 hits and an earned run for the Oakland A's on Friday night. Joe, the Brewers haven't won shit since, so some would argue they're still in a rebuild.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere. And
we're all clowning you. We're all clowning you. If I was you, I'd be like, all you sons of bitches. You say you save this audio. Look, the Brewers were this is me being you, what I would do. The Brewers were in a spot where they were screwed. And so you had to look at draft picks. And we did it before with Weeks, Fielder, and Hart. You have to wait for these guys. And then you have to wait for them to get there. And you wait for them to get there. And look at the Brewers. All these guys that we thought would be attractive at the time haven't done shit. So this rebuild that we're waiting on, and then you'll say someone will call in and say, "Oh, what do you mean the Brewers have been good? They've been good." I remember them in a this had to be after 2018, right? When did Ursa get drafted? Because that kind of sways my argument.
He was probably like 2015, 2016.
Oh, then never mind. They made the NLCS in 18. Never mind. Your take was stupid.
Well, but that was, you know what? I still stand by the fact that for a lot of baseball players, and this is why they're under the contracts that they are through the minor leagues, and then once they get called up, they're under these long rookie contracts. It does take time for the majority of these guys before they really find it. I mean, it's just hard to have a hot prospect stay hot throughout the minor leagues, get to the big league level, and continue to play on that really high level. Like that's a rare thing, because those are the superstars. Those are the best guys. So like, all I was trying to say back then was, guys, it's going to take some time here. I just don't expect this thing to just happen overnight. You got to be fair to these guys because they're young, and it's a process. So like, people will always hold that shit over my head forever.
But nobody ever should have. You should have been able to say it and move on with your life. But yeah, I'm such an asshole.
Well, a lot of people are assholes, and that's just the way it is, because they think they know more than you, and therefore, they think, well, if Radio Joe's on the air saying stuff like that, I know I'm better than him. I should be on the air saying things smarter. But let's be honest, Bart. Like I don't want to say the majority, but I would say about 50% of sports talk is based on predictions. That's what we do. We have to predict. We have to gauge. We have to use. Well, we have to use what we see and what we feel and say, well, this guy sucks. This guy isn't any good, or this guy is going to be good. And here's why I feel that way. And a lot of times we're wrong. I was wrong about Lucas Erceg. I was wrong about Keston Hiura. I think a lot of Brewer fans were wrong about Keston Hiura, but I was right about Corbin Burns. Corbin Burns was someone that I kept watching him in the minor leagues. I'm like, dude, this guy is going to be a stud. Don't trade him. Well, look what we got. We got a Cy Young winner out of him. So, like, and do I see anyone out there saying, hey, Joe, you were right on the money about Corbin Burns. Wow, you really stood your ground on Corbin Burns. No one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear that.
That's why I like doing a podcast, because I feel like when you're doing a podcast, I don't think anyone's hate listening to my podcast. You have to be pretty much a psycho if you are hate listening to my podcast. But on the radio, you know that it's still a place where you can just you turn it on, and then it comes a routine, and then you can like hate listen to some of these people. And there's so many people that just flat out hate you, and like those they're people that don't agree with anything you say and don't like that you exist. And I feel like I don't deal with that as much anymore. Maybe on Twitter. God, I post about this Brewers logo, and all everyone wants to do is apparently people like the 90s Brewers logo. Who fucking knew? But everybody wants to be such a dick about it. I will ask you, do you look back fondly on your career, or do you have a chip on your shoulder?
That's a great question. No, I mean, it's the fact that I got to talk sports for a living for about 10 years, the fact that I got to go to all these games,
you watched the Badgers lose 3 Rose Bowls.
Well, Big Ten championships, I didn't go to one where they won, and people blame me for being there.
I blame you. I'm an asshole.
Yeah, again, it's just people being assholes. Same thing with the Rose Bowl. But yeah, like I got to do a lot of cool stuff that I could never have dreamt of as a kid. Like, like when I was a kid, being able to sit anywhere near home plate was like huge. Like, oh man, look how close I get to be to these baseball players. This is so cool. I mean, I got to interview these guys. I got to be around. I got to sit in the dugout in the afternoons and put a microphone to Craig Counsell's face or Ron Renicke's face. I mean, I got to go to Bucks games. I got to, be a part of those playoff runs where, the Bucks shit the bed. But no matter what, it was the experience. And yeah, I mean, I'm always going to look back on all of those things and look back at all the memories working with you guys in the studio and doing a lot of funny stuff. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, not many people can say they got to do that for a living. Do I have a chip on my shoulder from time to time about certain things? Yeah, but I'll keep that to myself, because the radio business, it is a cutthroat business, and there's a lot of bullshit that, the average listener, they don't really want to hear your problems or your complaints about the business, because they look at it and say, dude, shut up. You get to live the dream. Most people don't get to do that. But yeah, there's some things in my career I can look back on and, wish maybe something went a better way, or maybe, I'll just keep it at that. But overall, the experience and all that was pretty darn cool.
I have many chips on my shoulder, and I talk about them all the time. That's kind of my brand. I want to say one thing specifically about the radio business, and specifically in Milwaukee. I don't need to, use this time to shit on personalities. I don't need to do that. I just want to understand, get people to understand for a second how the ratings work, because everybody, you have no access to any of the ratings, the normal person, except for the 6+ rating, which is people 6 and older. You can go look at that at any time. It's what the newspapers print. It's what the trade lines print, and all the sports stations are like way at the bottom. And that's very low. In Milwaukee, we're way at the bottom. In Chicago, their station's high. In New York, their station's high. But in Milwaukee, we're way at the bottom. We were all fighting for a piece of the same pie. And so when you see like, 97.3, the game has how's that? Like a 1.3, and we have a 1.1. Like, they're not beating us. It's tied. We're all the same. And then what happens, someone, Barrett, just posted the adult men ratings that we actually cared about, the 25-54.
Yep.
And we were all at the end, we were all hovering like a 2.8 or a 3.4, or, you know, we were all like the same. We didn't go away because we were getting beat. We went away because redacted, as Bart is an employee currently of Odyssey. So we didn't go away for any reason that we had in our control. I look at the recent ratings that were posted, and it's still like a 3.4 ESPN and a 3.4 The Game. They haven't picked up anybody. This is what I'm upset about. One sports station completely went away. They haven't picked up anybody. The Game has the Packers. They got the Packers. They have like the no Cume boost. Sports radio is bad. And the people that would tell me, oh, you guys went off the air because you talk too much sports, fuck you. That's the chip on my shoulder. Yeah. I only argue against sports radio because it's bad and they could be better. And it offends me on a personal level. So I've said that 90 times, but I felt like there had to be some dialogue of it in this particular conversation.
Yeah, I could get into some real. I mean, I could speak very frank about the other two stations. I don't know if I should though.
No, who knows? You may be producing the pipe bombs in the mornings in 5 years. Who knows?
Well, it's just, I think it's comical that a lot of the guys that we used to work with at 1250, like they're over at the Game and they're just being like not even utilized.
Yeah.
Like no one's being used over there. The only person that has broken through over there that they've given ample opportunities to, who's killing it, is Baby Tausch. That's it.
But they had to give him like a 3-year probation.
Yeah,
he had to like go through rituals to prove he belonged.
Yeah, and it's just like
he should have had his own show immediately the day he went over there.
Absolutely, but that's the thing. Like, I'm really happy for Baby Tausch. Some of the other former 1250 personalities are there, but you never hear from them. Like, where's Chuck?
Where is Chuck?
Where's Chuck? I mean, how is it that KB can be on full time in the afternoon and Chuck Freeman can't even be on a damn show? Like, how is that? How does that make any sense whatsoever?
I knew I'd keep prodding. I'd get something out of you.
Dude, I yell at my radio a lot, and I know you give me crap because it's like, Joe, just listen to my podcast. That's all you need to do. And I do, but when I'm on that drive in the morning to work from, I'm on the road from 8:15 to 8:45 because I go up to Menominee.
I get it. The radio has radio. I mean, podcasts are the future and that on-demand audio, but there's still an advantage that radio has where press.
Yeah. What
podcast you have to press. Radio, you just have to press. And my issue is meaning basically anyone on a radio, they don't understand that advantage and they take it for granted.
Yeah.
I just don't want these people to take it for granted.
Well, and that's the thing.
You could get blindsided. Well, I always knew it was coming. I'm a stewardship of radio. Everyone's going to lose their job 3 or 4 times if you stay in the business long enough.
Yeah, it's that's the business. And, I certainly don't want to see anyone lose their jobs at either one of the stations. I'm not saying that at all. It's just.
Yeah, me neither.
What? No, I
don't.
No, it's just, my thing is when I put on those 2 stations in the morning, coming off of a Packer game, coming off of a big Brewer game or a big Bucks game, I want to hear what every sports fan is talking about the next day. Like, what is the topic du jour that we're all talking about from last night? And instead, I just hear a lot of nonsense from both of those stations. Stuff that is, if you're going to like do some bits or you're going to do some things that are clever little topic ideas that are not going to be like what people want to talk about in the morning, at least make it entertaining. It's not even funny. Like, like both of those stations have every chance to win me over as a listener. I'm a listener now. Okay.
Yeah. Free agent.
And so as a listener, what I want to hear in the morning is sports talk. I want to hear, what are your thoughts on that Packer game last night? No, instead we hear trivia, non-sports trivia. Why?
Hey, trivia from time to time is okay.
But you got to make it
like Fridays at 9.
You got to make it entertaining. And some people are naturally entertaining on the radio, and there's other people that are not. And for morning shows especially, you got to have your most entertaining personality on in the morning. And because that's the way morning drive should be. And so the people that I listen to in the morning are not entertaining. They're not funny. They're not naturally funny. They're just trying to be funny, and it's always forced. And I switch the station, and I switch it to the other station, and I hear the same crap. And it's just like, what, guys? I know I'm not the only listener here that feels this way, and I think a lot of the 1250 listeners are in that same boat where it's like they want to hear good, entertaining sports talk in the morning, and they don't get that. And that goes for the rest of the shows throughout the day. Hell, Baby Tausch's show with Mike Heller is probably the most sports talk that I can hear during the day. And that's usually during my lunch break. But these other shows are just, they don't come close to that. They don't come close to what I'm accustomed to as a listener and what I've been accustomed to as a producer and a host when I did this for the last 10 years.
Well, I'm having you on more since I don't want to talk about it anymore. I feel like I'm petty, but you're a fresh voice to say all the shit that I want to say. So
you know what? And I could say even more. It's just,
well, that's not why I wanted to talk to you, but I want to talk to you about the hole in one in Ursig, but
hey,
I also thought this might happen.
Well, and look, I don't anticipate me ever going back into sports talk. I don't see the opportunities. So I don't want to try and burn bridges with the other two stations, but I'm just trying to speak from the standpoint of a listener. Because
but they don't care, Joe. That's the problem.
And
they
and
do
that
not care.
And then
you're wrong. Your complaints to either are on deaf ears. They don't care. And that's what I'm speaking out against. They don't. I want to get off of this. I'm sorry.
Who gives a rat's ass what I have to say? Whatever. No one cares.
I'll tell you one more thing before I have to actually go work on the radio.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're going to be on CBS today.
What I've noticed the most from leaving radio in terms of what I consume, I don't watch the Brewers as much as I was.
Yeah.
Are you watching them every day?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. And it's the same thing with the Bucks. Like
Bucks I still watched every day.
No, you know what? The regular season, it's not must-see television for me. It's just not. I'll put it on when I feel like it. And I still follow along with the team. I still look at the damn box scores every day. I keep up with them, but I just don't sit there and just try to watch every game every single day. It's just I just don't. I don't do that anymore. And believe me, at times when I did this for a living, it became a chore. Like it really did. Like there's just nights where you don't want to watch sports. You just want to do something else.
I don't think I'll ever watch a Wisconsin basketball game that's not NCAA tournament again.
Yeah, there you go. See?
I certainly won't watch Marquette. I've disavowed all things Marquette on this program.
Hey, by the way, have you been watching Law and Order?
We have 5 weeks to catch up on. Did you finish this week's?
Yeah, my wife and I just finished SVU and Organized Crime.
And it's stop bringing these people in for like 8 weeks and then getting them off the show. That I've seen.
Well, yeah, and I guess I don't have a problem with it because the characters are not like people I'm like, oh man, why did they get rid of him or her? Like that doesn't bother me, but I just want to know like where this is going to go with Benson and Stabler.
Oh, like my wife hates it. because they never had chemistry like this on the first run.
Right.
And now they're pretending they did.
They're just, the writers are constantly leading us on here to see if this is going anywhere. But at some point, there needs to be an end game here. Are they gonna hook up or not? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, Ross and Rachel of our generation.
Yes.
Joe, I love you, buddy. Good to see you.
Love you too, buddy. Thanks for having me. Anytime, I'll come on. You know that.